Chapter 137. If There Is an Afterlife. Foothill God's City. Lu Yong stepped on the Earth Dragon vein and arrived in person, wanting to seek revenge on Gu Hai. Huang Fu Chao stepped on the Earth Dragon vein, carrying a sad and heavenly hatred, wanting to avenge Long Xiaoyu. The two great powerhouses stand on top of the dragon vein and stare coldly at each other outside the city. In the city, Gu Hai looked into the distance and nodded. Huang Fu Chao is facing Lu Yong. Naturally, I won't ignore it, but their battle, my ability can't intervene. What then? The officials anxiously said. I need the help of all of you. Gu Hai looked at the officials. Your Majesty, you say, we'll do what we can with all our might. It's just that we no longer have any spirit stones, otherwise, the officials said bitterly. No need, you guys just cooperate with me. Gu Hai shook his head. We will definitely cooperate with your Majesty with all our might. The crowd of officials immediately gambled and swore. Gu Hai looked at the group of officials and sighed in his heart. Huang Fu Chao collected a good group of courtiers. No need to guess, can know. Lu Yong country defeat. His courtiers must have quietly escaped long ago. But these subjects of Huang Fu Chao, in the time of national difficulties, but each and every one of them showed a temperament. These types of subjects were also the subjects that the great Han dynasty needed the most. Gu Hai flipped his hand and took out the Heavenly Jin divine seal. In the name of Gu Hai, notify the world of the great Han dynasty that Lu Yong brought the Earth Dragon vein to Lushen City. Huang Fu Chao met the battle. I want to help Huang Fu Chao today. Temporarily relocate the capital to Lushen City and relocate the Great Han's Chi fortune to Lushen City. For me to deploy, turn. Gu Hai let out a loud shout. Boom. The Heavenly Town divine seal trembled violently, and a strange energy rippled out, spreading over Lu Divine City with a loud bang. Huyu. As if a gale had formed out of nowhere, it converged towards the sky above Foal God's City. A group of officials looked towards Gu Hai. Your Majesty, moving the capital. If you move the capital once, you'll lose 1/10 of your fortune. But Gu Hai still moved the capital. Qi luck is precious to a country. In order to save Huang Fu Chao, the Emperor is willing to lose 1/10 of his Qi luck. Many thanks, Your Majesty, the crowd of officials said gratefully. Huang Fu Chao entrusted the country. The Qi luck was given to Gu Hai, and this Qi luck could naturally pass through to connect the ears of the people of the Divine Foe dynasty. Gu Hai let out a loud roar, transmitting the sound of Qi luck, which naturally passed into the ears of all the people. Inside Divine Foothill City, countless people had been anxious for a long time. At this moment, when they heard Gu Hai's words, they were incomparably grateful. Many thanks to Mr. Gu. No, many thanks to the Emperor. Thank you, Your Majesty. In Divine Foothill City, the people sincerely worshipped, and as soon as their minds were sincere, it was once again generating a new wave of Qi surging into the air above, where Gu Hai was in. General. At the same time, the sound also traveled to the other 11 cities of the Divine Foothills Imperial Dynasty. King Lu Yong has come. The Emperor is in danger, and Gu Hai is going to help him. It's Gu Hai's voice, moving the capital. He's going to move the capital to lose 1/10 of his Qi in order to help the Emperor. This Gu is so not ashamed of the Emperor's trust. But, in the past, the Emperor mobilized all the power of the people of the city, but he was no match for Lu Yong. And the Emperor is still poisoned today. How can this be, Mr. Gu? You must save the Emperor. 11 cities, the people were all anxious. 9-5 Island. Daming Wongshen, Chuai and a white-robed woman, but temporarily lived in the Royal Casino Resort for a period of time, during which Mao Chen looked for Gu Qin. Gu Qin is occasionally accompanied. During this period, the great King God, the white-robed woman, and Chuai also pried into the experience of the ancient sea these days. Understanding, Chuai revealed a stunned expression. It's only been 2 years, and a mortal old man has built this great foundation. 2 years, grandson. Now you know why I allied with Great Han. It's only been 2 years. In another 10 years, it will become an imperial dynasty. Maybe in another 100 years, it will become a heavenly dynasty. Will it be worse than you being a lackey in the Sun God Palace? Ha 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 ha. Mao Chen looked at Chuetai in triumph. Chuetai blackened his face. It was all because of his own quick mouth that day that he made such an unlucky bet. These days, every day, he was shouted at by Mao Chen as a grandson. The great bright king god sitting aside with crystal wine glass, listening to Mao Chen complacent words. But a burst of gloom around the body seems to contain a murderous aura in general. Mao Chen's face was cold as he looked at King God of Great Brightness and said, King God of Great Brightness, what? You still want to kill Gu Hai to avoid the great harm? Heh, Gu Hai's Jindan realm already makes you a threat. The Great Brightness King God took a sip of wine. Create a threat to me? Heh, you're overthinking it. I'm only sorry I didn't kill him in the first place, otherwise it wouldn't have caused me so much trouble out of nowhere. Trouble without Gu Hai. If Nu were who wanted to be resurrected, she would have to wait at least another 200 years. Otherwise, that master of your Sun God Palace wouldn't have been able to send you guys to thank Gu Hai. Mao Chen said indifferently. It's also the Lord's mercy. Dumming Divine King said indifferently. Mao Chen's eyes widened. Merciful. That master of yours, Tai Yi, you call him merciful? The Great Brightness King God twisted his head away. Apparently saying that his lord was merciful seemed a little too much. By the way, that white-robed woman, who is she? Mao Chen looked at Chuetai. Chuetai looked at the Doming King God sitting on the side. Doming King God did not open his mouth. Chuetai shook his head, unwilling to explain. Mucken frowned slightly, but stopped asking. Right at this moment, above the punching heaven palace, a loud bang came steeply from the sea of Chi-Luck clouds. Boom! With a loud bang, the rolling Chi-Luck steeply and rapidly flowed in the direction of the divine continent Earth in the southwest. What's going on? Mao Chen's face sank. Everyone walked out of the resort villa and looked up to the sky. At this moment, a Dahan official came forward. Elder Mao, it's the Emperor temporarily moving the capital to Lushen City. It's diverting the flow of qi towards Lushen City. The official explained. Oh, what did Gu Hai say? The Great Brightness King God was puzzled. The Emperor said, in the name of the ancient sea, notify the world of the Great Han Dynasty that Liu Yong brought the Earth Dragon Vein to Lu God City, and Huang Fu Chaoj met the battle. And I want to help Huang Fu Chaoj today by temporarily relocating the capital to Lu God City and relocating the Great Han's Qi flow on Lu God City for me to deploy, turn, Faux Divine City to meet King Liu Yong. The Daming God King revealed a hint of surprise. Impossible. Gu Hai is only in the Jindan realm. He wants to mobilize the power of a country, but he only has the strength of the Jindan realm or, even if countless forces converge on him, can his flesh stand it? It will burst at that time. Chuetai was surprised. Foothill God City. Since Gu Hai is there, then we won't linger, let's get ready to go. The Great Brightness King God said in a deep voice. Good. Chuetai nodded. The white-robed woman who walked out from the house also nodded. Who? The three of them took out a flying boat and stepped onto it. Shoo, controlled by Chuetai. The flying boat instantly shot off into the distance. Mao Chen frowned as he watched. After all, he did not follow. Instead, he quickly found Gu Qin. Seeing him, Gu Qin looked towards Mao Chen in confusion. This person, the Great Brightness King God, is so arrogant that he only obeys one person in the world today, the Palace Master of the Sun God Palace, Tai Yi. This time, he came to find Gu Hai. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I've been accompanying them all these days, trying to trap their words, but I've not been able to do so. You send someone to inform Gu Hai right away. say that the great brightness king deity has come." Mao Chen frowned. Guqin shook his head and said, "Don't worry, Elder Mu. I've already sent someone to notify. It just takes some time before the news reaches father." Mu Chen nodded. Outside of Lushen City, Huang Fu Chaoji looked at Lu Yong, revealing a hideous smile of bitter hatred. But driving the north, countless mountain peaks, followed by tumbling up, the sky suddenly smoke and dust rushed to the sky. Huang Fu Chaoji, looking for death. Lu Yong let out a cold snort and stamped his feet. Liu Yang's Earth Dragon Vein was 100,000 miles long, and as it roared to meet it. Ang! The two dragons roared as they blatantly collided. Boom! The two mountain ranges collided with superb destructive power, and the collision exploded countless mountains and rocks. For a time, debris rushed into the sky, filling the sky with fragments of great mountains. "Open the Grand Formation," Gu Hai commanded. Buzz! The Fall God City Grand Formation opened with a roar. Rumble! A large amount of mountain stone fragments fell in the Grand Formation. There were more than just booms in the distance, as the great battle continued and great earthquakes rose and fell, and even with the great formation that guarded the city to isolate the inside and outside, the violent vibrations were still felt inside the city. Ong! Vaguely from the smoke and dust, two super huge golden dragons could be seen, in the midst of frantically sticking to the ground and tearing. "Bastard Huang Fu Chaoji, like a mad dog, don't you want to die?" Lu Yong roared. "Life. My life is for fighting with you. Earth Dragon Vein, tear me, bite me." Huang Fu Chaoji's roar rang out. "Stubborn thing. How old has your Earth Dragon Vein been raised? Compare it to mine." Joke. Lu Yong let out a cold snort. Roar-tong. Amidst the rolling smoke came the tearing sound of Liu Yang's Dragon Vein, followed by the mournful sound of Huang Fu Chaoji's Dragon Vein. However, Huang Fu Chaoji's Golden Dragon still ignored itself and continued to charge amidst it. The two dragons battled. The sky was dark. The sun and the moon were not shining. The sky was filled with blasted mountains, and rolling smoke and dust covered the four directions. Huyu, steeply, the first strand of chi came over from the 9-5 islands. Gu Hai's eyes lit up. "It's finally here. Huang Fu Chaoji, you're no match for me, and neither is your Earth Dragon Vein." Humph! Liu Yang's roar resounded from the smoke. However, at this moment, the winner had already been divided. Liu Yang's Golden Dragon was ultimately countless times larger. At this moment, it was swallowing Huang Fu Chaoji's Golden Dragon between its open mouths. Swallowing Huang Fu Chaoji's Golden Dragon's tail, he swallowed it little by little. In the blink of an eye, a large golden dragon had swallowed almost all of the small golden dragon. Only one of the small golden dragon's dragon head was left exposed. Lu Yong stood on the big dragon's head and coldly looked at the small dragon's head that was about to be swallowed all the way into its stomach, revealing a hint of hideousness. "Just with you. You also want to fight me?" Huang Fu Chaoji was getting weaker and weaker at this moment, shaking and trembling. His eyes were about to open. He looked up at Lu Yong, but suddenly smiled gently. "What are you laughing at?" Lu Yong said in a deep voice. "King Lu Yong. Heh, you're not fit to be called an emperor after all. You're not qualified enough to even see that I'm bent on death. Ha ha." Huang Fu Chaoji laughed ruefully. Single-mindedly seeking death, Lu Yong raised his eyebrows and abruptly changed his face. Huang Fu Chaoji hobbled his body and looked at the sky, as if he thought of the time he spent with Long Xiaoyu in the past, revealing a wave of happy smile. In that instant, it was as if the images of yesteryear were being quickly replayed in his mind. "Brother Huang Fu, this garland is for you to wear. Ha ha ha." "Big brother Huang Fu, I'm sorry, I have a sweet heart. If there is an afterlife, if I meet you first, I will definitely fall in love with you first. I'm sorry for this life." "Big brother Huang Fu, Let me introduce you to a few pretty girls. I guarantee you'll like them." As if it was a flashback, all the images in his mind were about Long Xiaoyu. A gorgeous happy smile bloomed on the face of the weak Wangfu Chaoji as she smiled. 2 lines of tears had slipped down. "Xiaoyu, you said that if there is an afterlife, you will definitely fall in love with me first. I'm coming. I'm coming." Wangfu Chaoji laughed happily in his weakness. Not good. In the distance, Guhai's face changed. "Asshole, Wangfu Chaoji. How dare you?" Lu Yong shrieked. Explode. The earth dragon vein under Wangfu Chaoji's feet suddenly exploded itself. Boom. Tilt 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 tilt.